Good day, viewers. Welcome back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. Have a special guest today, Manoj. Welcome to my show.
Thank you.
Manoj is one of my friends, and we go out and do some activism on the weekends. He goes out and we do Ask an Atheist, and we feed homeless people and so forth. So I really get excited when I do these atheist interviews on my show. I like to get a different perspective from different atheists. And I really like to ask questions when I'm around my secular friends, asking them how they came to that point in their life when they realized they were an atheist and they figured out this God stuff. So, Manoj, I'm going to turn it over to you. I've got some questions, and then we'll just go from there. So,
okay.
What was your upbringing and your religious background? So tell us about your background and so forth.
So I was born in India, in the south of India. I was born, my parents are Hindu. Everybody around me when I grew up were Hindu. They were not intensely religious. They were moderately religious. But when you grew up in a Hindu community, you will see there's a lot of color there. There's a lot of religious ceremonies, a lot of rituals, practices. So I grew up with those, just mostly seeing it as a young kid. I had to participate in it too, and I would ask my parents questions, and they would just console me, saying I would get it as I grow older.
So you did ask a lot of questions.
I did.
Yeah. So you had doubts. Now, let me ask you a question. I'm very familiar with Christianity, obviously. Most of us come from a Christian background. But when you were raised as in a Hindu family, or even a cultural Hindu family, did you have a particular deity that you worship? Because it's a kind of a polytheistic religion, correct?
Yes. So we had, I would say, 2 or 3 that were main deities, and then several that were less important deities. But there were several, but we focused on 2 or 3. Okay.
Can you name those? Do you remember?
Yes. Vishnu, Krishna, Shiva.
Okay. Some of the main ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to my understanding, though, I've had a few clients in the past that are more cultural Hindus, and they're from South India. And most of them were already more of an agnostic or atheist. And they said it was more of a cultural thing. They went through the ceremonies, the dress. They even had some of the goddesses or gods statues,
yes,
or icons and so forth.
Yes.
Icons, yeah. But they didn't really believe in the supernatural. But they told me that when they were in India as a child, that they would pray literally to these particular deities. So is there a similarity with Hinduism and Christianity in some areas?
Yes, there is. So prayers are common. Although in my family, we didn't have a day of the week where everybody had to go to the temple. There was nothing like that. We would go on special occasions, more important days on the calendar, on the religious calendar. We would do that. And then as a kid, there's, you go with the family, you visit temples, you receive prasad, that's the blessed sandalwood paste or leaves and flowers that the priest offers, and you take that and you feel that, oh, you've been blessed, and you go with a feeling of having been helped or blessed. So that was common, and I believe the same holds true in Christianity, where you go, you pray, and you come out with a feeling that you've received something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That feeling that you're communicating with your either Heavenly Father or Son God.
Yes.
Casting your care and all your worries on them for them to provide. So, yeah, it does give them that feeling of oneness with a particular God.
And I think it's just human that, we are aware that we're not controlled we're not in control of a lot of things in our lives, and we wish there was an external force to help us out.
Good. Do you remember a particular moment in your life when you were younger that caused you to start doubting in these particular deities that you were raised in?
Yes. So there's a pretty significant temple visit that people do. They take a religious penance for about 40 days, but they don't. They practice vegetarianism. They wake up very early in the morning, like 4 or 5. They bathe in a pond by the temple, and then they go pray in the temple. So they do this for about 40 days, and then they go to a faraway, very important temple. It's called Shabarimala. They go there and they visit the temple, do their prayers, and come back. And that's considered something very significant. And believers are supposed to practice the penance strictly, that is, no eating meat or fish, for example. And as a child, I was going to go to this temple, and I was practicing that. And then some of my older cousins that were walking with me, they said, don't worry about it, you can eat some fish. And they gave me some fish, and I just ate it. And the next day, it was the day to go to the temple far away. And I wanted to test this out for myself. Let me find out if something bad's going to happen to me because I ate fish the day before I went to Shabarimala. Yes, so, wow. And so that was a good experiment on myself that I did, and hey, nothing bad happened. And I saw other bad things happen to other people who were very strictly, very devout. So then that brought a thought in me, well, I ate fish and nothing happened to me. Well, they were so devout and bad things happened to them. So is this belief all random? Is there no relation between? I couldn't see the cause and effect in play in this situation.
It sounds like you used and applied some critical thinking, and you put it to the test.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what a lot of us do, or did at one time, right?
Yes, I think everybody does that.
Well, let's hope so. We want them to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, was there a time that you knew that you were an atheist? So you were raised a particular way in Hinduism. When did you know that you were an atheist?
Around the age of 12 or 13, I knew that I couldn't believe in something that I was not confident was the truth. I couldn't keep bowing to something that I felt was untrue. So that's when I knew I was clearly an atheist.
Wow, at that age, that early age?
Yes, and I had the advantage of some older cousins around me that they were, they were publicly atheistic. So I thought, yeah, it's not just me having this feeling. There's a lot of people that see the world the same way, so I felt more confident.
And was this in India, or was this after you moved to the States?
This was in India.
This was still in India? Yeah. Okay, and when did you move to the States?
When I was about 22 or 23 years old.
A couple of years ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you wish, yeah. Yes. So let's talk about the effect of Hinduism concerning societal health. Now, you know my belief on this. I've done episodes on how I think that a lot of religions really do not benefit societal health. Secular societies are healthy societies. Do you think that Hinduism is a benign religion and a harmless religion to human societies?
So it does leave Hindus with some disadvantages in life. Hinduism encourages segregation of the people based on birth So now people argue that that's just culture, not the real religion, but I'm talking about Hinduism as it is practiced in India right now.
You're talking about the caste system?
Yes, it is very much in practice in India. And I remember when I was a child, my grandmother telling us not to let the lower caste people inside our house.
Wow.
Yes, so it does leave very bad effects on people. Now, when they subscribe to the idea of not letting, or when they subscribe to the idea of untouchability, then, well, they don't see a problem. But you can see, as an outside, if you look at it from the outside, you can see that that leaves a society very divided and fragmented.
Okay. So your answer would be yes,
yes.
It can be destructive in some ways, or harmful, I should say.
Yes.
What about the...
on a personal level, it does harm too, because people, instead of seeking rational solutions to their problems, they go about relying on superstition and prayers. So, for example, when they get sick, they pray and hope to be cured.
Just like Christianity here in America with the evangelical Christians, right?
Yes.
When they could take their children in to be tested, to be taken care of from medical professionals, they prefer their gods, do you think that Hinduism should be challenged? Like when we go out and do our Ask an Atheist, we're normally dealing with, what, 90% of Christians and a few that are New Age spiritualists, right? We haven't run into any Hindus yet. Now, I run into some once in a while. So do you think that they should be challenged as well?
So the way I look at it, you know, things that do not work in life need to be questioned and challenged. So in that category falls Hinduism and the rest of the religions. So people that practice irrational ideas, beliefs, they need to be challenged. Yes.
You do? Okay, very good. Yeah, I think, like I've said on my show many times before, I would much prefer that our government officials be influenced by the human enlightened mind, right? Or from council of intelligent, rational people, rather than someone who's going to get their guidance from a medium or a channeler or someone who believes in this New Age philosophy. I've got people that tell me all the time, well, let me go meditate on this. So I would rather have government officials and leaders in our society to make decisions based on reason, way over than those that receive these so-called things from faith.
We want a system where people are led by objective facts. I am not discounting subjective experiences. We know everybody has those. But when it comes to interact with another person, we have to rely on objective facts to guide the conversation or the interaction. Otherwise, we don't get anywhere, because subjective experiences are important and personally very satisfying, but it's very unrelatable to another person. It is not; they do not see your truth as their truth. It's subjective by definition, just confined to inside your mind.
That's very good, very good. All right, man, I think we have finished everything, and I appreciate you coming on. Did you have anything else you wanted to throw out there at my viewers?
No, I don't have.
Okay, all right, all good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Well,
I appreciate it, Manoj. And thanks for watching The Preaching Humanist, where no God is required for a life of love, joy, peace, fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in life. Have a wonderful day.